Whew. Little on the stubborn side. There's like very little traffic. Welcome back to Talking Tuesday. I am so glad you can make it. Well, we've survived Hurricane Florence, at least down here in the Charleston area. I was gonna go live on the 14th, but as I was telling somebody else, we basically got some drizzle. It was kind of heavy drizzle, but there really wasn't much of anything to talk about down here. Now, Charleston floods easily, so I wasn't sure how long it was gonna rain. We still stood a very good chance of being flooded if it kept up for days. But it didn't, and we got out easy. I have to remind myself to be sensitive to the people who didn't get off so easy. And there were plenty of them, so they definitely need our help. I have to say I was a little put out by social media during the event, because the first wave of obnoxious people that hit were the ones that were like, well, I don't know why you didn't evacuate. Well, because it was a judgment call. There are reasons not to evacuate. Mine particularly was just a judgment call. I wasn't sure what it was going to do, and I wasn't going to head out until I was sure. But, it's always good to get that, I told you so attitude online. The world needs more I told you so. The second group of people that absolutely amazed me, and I couldn't stop watching it because it was just like a train wreck. There's a platform off the North Carolina coast called Frying Pan. I guess they turned it into a bed and breakfast. So they had this webcam out there of this flag flying on Frying Pan. And it was pretty good because usually webcams and stuff like that, internet connections, they're a great way to see into a storm and what it's really like. But they usually go pretty quickly. They usually fall offline. And this one held in there for a really long time. So as the storm was approaching North Carolina, we're watching this flag out on the platform, and it was all tattered and torn. And there were people who were like, oh, I can't believe you didn't bring that flag in before the storm. I mean, the platform's like 25 miles off the coast. And it was a little poetic to see the flag. It got tattered and torn in the storm. And, of course, there's a lot of metaphors that could be had there. But there were all kinds of people that were like, it should be torn. Like, a lot of anti-American sentiment. And I don't know how many of those were coming from inside the country. I just don't understand why people live here if they hate it. There's things I'm unhappy about. There's things I don't agree with. But I don't hate it. If I hated it, I would go someplace else. Canada. Canada's a great place. Now that they've pushed Justin Bieber off on us, Canada's beautiful. There's a huge creative community up there. But Canada's a fascinating place. You don't like the cold? Mexico. South America. There's a lot of South American countries you can live pretty cheap. So, pack your America-hating self up. Go. I mean, I understand if you're here and you don't agree with things and you think you can change it, but that's not what they're saying. I understand it's not a perfect country, far from it. I don't know if there is one. They used to say there's no perfect church, and as soon as you get there, it won't be. And I'm not sure the same thing isn't true of a country. But I'm watching these comments, and I'm like, why? People are in trouble, and you're just getting on there being asinine. Of course, you get torn with, people have the right to say what's on their minds. They've got the freedom of speech, and you want to protect that. That's important. It's not censorship I'm after. It's courtesy and a little tact, grace. People at the time were worried about a Category 4 hurricane crashing down on them. And that's a major event. That's a major hurricane. There's going to be damage. There's going to be lives lost. It's a major event. And people are scrambling. And a lot of people are scrambling to help. I was talking to somebody up in Ohio, and they said, yeah, we took a lot of your dogs and stuff from the shelters. And we sent down water. And, it's help like that we all need. What we don't need when a natural disaster is bearing down on us is it's Trump's fault, or we don't need political discussion at that point. But I was amazed at all the people who were just making noise. People in an event like that don't need to hear who's right, who's wrong, what they did, what they should have done, why you're so much better than they are. What they need to hear is, you know what, if you need help, we're here for you. We'll help you get through it. We're all in this together, and we'll help you. Whether I agree with your choices or not, that's my little rant. I didn't mean to rant. I really didn't have a whole lot to talk about this morning, but it was just on my heart, What's also on my heart, I'd like to think that I'm not superstitious for a number of reasons, but I also try and be pretty self-aware. And I know that if I walk under a ladder, I don't think I'm going to have bad luck or anything like that, but I'm still pretty aware that I'm walking under a ladder. It's like superstition residue. You walk down a sidewalk, you notice as you're stepping on the cracks, you think, oh, it's a good thing I'm not superstitious. But you notice that you were stepping on the cracks. So sometimes the proof is in the pudding. And bikers tend to be pretty notorious about it. You look at the whole thing about the gremlin bell and the legend around that, and I suppose it's tongue-in-cheek. I don't know how many people really believe that the gremlin bell is keeping them safe. There are things like, green bikes. Apparently there's something about green bikes that some people won't even ride with somebody on a green bike. I don't really know what that one's about. I'm not that superstitious. But I joke around about putting on my rain gear and making it stop raining. It'll be raining and I'll be telling people, hold on, I'll put on my rain gear and make it stop for you. When you're paying attention, there's just so many connections you can make in your head. It's easy. Like when you're driving along and you're in slow traffic and every time you upshift, everybody else's brake lights go on. Coincidence? Yeah, it's probably not even that. You just happen to notice it because you have nothing else to do. Rain gear? I tend to forget how many times I put on my rain gear and ridden through a storm. But I do remember all the times I put it on and the rain cleared up and I rode along in sunny weather with my rain gear on. So it really wasn't much of a surprise when I postponed my trip to Cleveland and a Cat 4 hurricane pretty quickly dropped down to a Cat 2. You're welcome. Wish I could have done more for those people up north. Maybe then I should have put my rain gear on. I don't know. Yeah, postponed the trip to Cleveland for a week. Started calling hotels and pushing back my reservations. Luckily, they were all really good about it. You tell them you're in a hurricane and state of emergency, and they tend to be pretty good about it. Okay. Little note to all you ladies out there, and it probably applies to the guys too. But if you want to meet a biker, pulling in front of them on the road, not the way to do it. I'm just saying. Pull right in front of my bike, you're not impressing anybody. And if we do get a chance to meet, I'm not going to think highly of you. You have not won points. Just a little tip for you. Fun fact. So I put off the Cleveland trip for a week, so that leaves me leaving this Saturday. Pretty excited about it. Hopefully I won't have to ride in rain. That was the whole point of postponing it. When I postponed it, the way it looked is like I was going to have to ride through the middle of a Cat 1. And it's a long day on that particular leg. I just didn't want to do it. Whatever. I'm not on a deadline or anything. Didn't make sense. Now what I've been thinking about doing is I'll probably take video and stuff. I'll take lots of pictures. But I'll do video and stuff wherever I go. But I was also thinking I probably won't edit that until the end, put together a nice little montage or what have you. But I was thinking what I would do is, along the way, do live video every night. Maybe from the hotel room, talk about the day, talk about the trip. It'll be an experiment. I don't know if it'll be fun for either one of us, but it'll be an experiment. If I get jammed up for some reason, I probably won't do that, but I'm kind of hoping that I can. So by all means, watch for that. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell, and you will be notified when all that stuff happens on the channel. Like I said, I have no idea how it's going to work out. Just going to try it out. And you'll be getting it fresh off the presses. For the record, I don't really think I'm responsible for slowing down the hurricane. You know, it's a funny phenomenon, and I know other people have gone through it too. Because Mike Ely 7 was just talking about it the other day, that, you know, you're grateful for not getting hit by the storm, but you also feel guilty in a way because you know that there are people. I guess it's survivor's guilt of some sort at some level. Somebody asked me today how we made out, and I said, yeah, we kind of got a fierce drizzle for a couple of hours. And he mentioned that Fierce Drizzle sounds like the name of a band, you know, kind of a band that didn't make it. They lost their drummer, tried to replace him with a couple others, never really took off, ended up disbanding before they really had any hits or any kind of following. I would say their music was generally kind of moody with a grayish malaise. Well, there you go. Thank you. Couple of ladies at the gas pump from the Border Patrol. Ladies of the Border Patrol. This sounds like a calendar waiting to happen. Sorry. It just does. Yeah, it's probably completely sexist, but what was that song? I'm Still a Guy? True story. So I'm going to wrap it up. That's my Talking Tuesday. I'm really glad you could make it. Now, I'm kind of getting a little bit closer to 1,000 subscribers. I mean, I got a little ways to go yet, but getting closer. Kind of been thinking about having some sort of giveaway at 1,000. You know, like a houseboat or something. Okay, that's sarcasm. Probably not a houseboat. Disclaimer, not a houseboat. But I got to start figuring that out. Why? Because I love my subscribers. And I want to thank you for supporting me. That said, I appreciate you being here once again. And I hope you have a terrific day. Bye.